I worked in Illinois public education for 45 years. The best years of my professional career were at NSSED. It was magic. It was wonderful. I hope it will always be that way for everyone.
I arrived at NSSED, I think, at an interesting time in special education history. So I had arrived in '88, and the individual who had been in the leadership role prior to that was Stan Bristol. But in '74, as you know, that's when PL 94-142 was instituted. So he brought in a number of students who had been in residential programs. So we were then moving classes of special education students into the schools, which was a very interesting phenomenon because the districts weren't necessarily prepared for this, but the parents were demanding it. There has to be a reason why they come to you for the collaborative, and that was the question we really took to heart and began asking ourselves over and over. What do we offer that they can't? Well, one was location. Well, we were moving away from that. So the other issue was excellence. And that's where NSSED was in a very unique position because we had, for whatever reason, the resources to hire the best and the brightest.
Where we developed a pretty intensive assistant tech program that supported students in regular classes. That whole time was characterized as moving away from separate schools and separate classrooms to more integrated programs. It developed a whole variety of programs that supported more inclusive practices and supported those in our member school districts. We basically went from being a discrete set of programs to being a menu of services that districts picked and choose from based upon the needs of their students. I think the other notable thing that occurred during that time is that with the cooperation of our member districts, we developed a problem-solving model that was designed to deliver services to students in regular classrooms before they became eligible for special education. And that work evolved into the RTI model, which is now a statewide model, actually a national model, delivering services for kids with disabilities. So, I think the main theme of that time was a time of pretty intense change. That change was guided by a strategic plan, very much like the one you're developing now, that we developed in collaboration with our member districts, and it served as a blueprint for moving the cooperative from the program-based model to the menu-based model that was in place, or that's still in place today.
An absolute commitment to excellence. The belief, deeply felt belief, that children, students, regardless of their ability, deserved the very best we could do. And that permeated all of our relationships with parents, with staff, with our member districts, with our executive committee, with our governing board. A commitment that second best is not good enough. Not for our students, only the best.
NSSED benefits from incredible resources. We have skilled and dedicated staff members. We have visionary district leaders who truly believe that together we are better. But for me, the most powerful resource has always been the parents of the children we serve at NSSED. Families hold very high expectations for us, as they should, and it always makes our work better. On a daily basis, we work with parents in relation to their individual children. But what makes NSSED truly unique is that we consistently ask, and parents consistently agree to join our work on a larger scale. Through the years, parent leaders have joined us to ensure their hopes and their priorities for their children are captured in all that we do at every level of the organization. For instance, families have helped us make hiring decisions. They've trained bus drivers with us. They've written grants that have funded new positions. They've also written manuals and mentored families new to the special education system. Remarkably, the Parent and Staff Association has sponsored over 200 monthly workshops where parents and staff learn and grow together. The parent group has also inspired the formation of similar partnerships between families and staff in many of our member districts. And behind it all, there have been brilliant parent leaders who have fueled these efforts.
When I first came to NSSED, I was coming to an organization that had a tremendous reputation for excellence and progressive practices. We started from the perspective of what does a successful adult look like, and therefore, then what do we have to do in the schools in order to have our students become successful adults? There was a substantial amount of parental involvement, and it wasn't just what typically happens in school districts where parents indeed are involved. It extended beyond what I was used to. And then in addition to that, I quickly picked up on how important it was for NSSED to always be student-centered. Children came first in all actions and thoughts.
One of the things I think we do as an organization, hopefully in tandem with parents, is when those natural, organic opportunities don't exist, then how do we create them? Not only in the schools, but as you've talked about and been spearheading in the past, in the larger community, the YMCAs, the libraries, the park district programs. Our community is much larger than just the 7-hour school day that we think of.
Precisely, and that's why accessing those programs when they exist, we do a soccer program and have met so many families who do not have siblings. And the sense of connection that people start to feel there, you know how much they wish they could have that in where they're being served as well.
Was the level of support we had from our executive committee and our governing board. If we went to them and we said, here is data that shows something we want to do is going to be of benefit to students, our executive committee and governing board stood right by our side and supported us every step of the way. That led to, I think, a district that was a leader in Illinois, even in the country, of best practices for students, regardless of their ability.
I think that integration is happening all over America, whether it's with the disabled, whether it's with minorities, and people will be ultimately more accepting.
To take it to the next level for evolution, one of the things that NSSED, I believe, has historically done extremely well is being not only evolutionary, but also flexible and collaborative. Recognizing that indeed that there are 18 member districts in which not all the needs are the same for every district. So NSSED over time has to consistently understand the needs of the school districts and how to work together and blend them together so that NSSED can be strong on behalf of everybody.